So if the reaction to this executive order is broadly dismissive, Brian, what are you spending most of your time at the ACLU focusing on, and what should the Forbes audience spend their time paying attention to when it comes to the issue of First Amendment rights and free speech?
I think there are numerous areas where the Trump administration is attacking First Amendment rights. Some of the most obvious ones are its attempt to impose sanctions on law firms that represent clients or causes that are disfavored by the administration. Those attempts are also blatantly unconstitutional. They were roundly rejected by every single federal court that's considered a case challenging those executive orders. But the chilling effect that those executive orders have had on the legal profession has been profound. And the danger that that poses to an independent bar and an independent judiciary and the functioning of America's legal system is very grave indeed. Similarly, I think President Trump's attacks on universities, denying hundreds of millions of dollars in funds unless universities toe the administration's preferred ideological line, represents a profound threat to principles of academic freedom that have made America's universities the envy of the world. And finally, I think the very pervasive way that the administration has been targeting non-citizens on the basis of their protected expression for deportation and for detention, throwing people like Mahmoud Khalil, Ramesa Ozturk, these students at America's universities in detention facilities thousands of miles away from their home, simply because they're engaging in protected protest. I think that represents a profound threat to basic civil discourse in this country. And I should say, in the interest of full disclosure, that the ACLU represents Mr. Khalil and Ms. Ozturk and several other of the students who are being targeted by the administration on these grounds. But those are campaigns where I think the administration has committed to trying to roll back fundamental First Amendment freedoms. As in this case, I think there's no chance the administration is going to commit to this phony war.
No chance the administration commits to this phony war. So if you're reading the tea leaves, what happens next when it comes to this executive order around flag burning? Does it just go away, get ignored, enforced a little bit, but other executive orders and administration action gets the attention? What's your prediction here?
There may be some federal prosecutors who attempt to curry favor with the Trump administration by making prosecutions in line with this executive order. But functionally, what this executive order has done has made it harder for any federal prosecutor to bring a prosecution on the basis that someone has burned an American flag. Because now any defendant who faces one of these prosecutions is going to have a very robust defense to come into court and say that they're being selectively prosecuted for their protected expression pursuant to this unconstitutional executive order. And so that's just actually going to make flag burning prosecutions of any type much, much more difficult for federal prosecutors in the medium term.
We've covered a lot of ground. Is there anything else, Brian, that you wish for the Forbes audience to know or understand about this executive order or the Trump administration's position when it comes to the First Amendment in 2025?
I think the most important thing for the Forbes audience to understand is that the First Amendment will continue to apply regardless of what the Trump administration says. President Trump is not the last word on our constitutional rights. We, as a country, get to decide what the Constitution means, and we do that by exercising our rights every day. And it's important not to be chilled by the president's stunts.
Brian Hauss, Senior Staff Attorney for ACLU's Speech, Privacy, and Technology Project. Thank you so much for joining us and providing us with your insight. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.